Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe. Welcome to the session on comprehensive observability via distributed tracing. I am your host for the session, and my name is Chinmay Gaikwad. I am a technical evangelist at Epsagon. Also, please stick around till the end. There is a special offer for you at the end. A bit about myself. I have had a very interesting journey till now. I have been a technical person at large companies such as Intel and IBM, and I've also worked at early stage startups. My hobbies include traveling, soccer, exploring restaurants, and video games. These days, it's just limited to video games. I'm really looking forward to resuming traveling as soon as the COVID situation is over. So let's get started with the session. In this session, we will look at how microservices have become the new normal and what challenges have come in forefront because of this. We will also focus specifically on the challenges in achieving full observability in highly distributed architectures. And lastly, we will also discuss what a good observability solution should look like. The first bullet here focuses on why we need something like distributed tracing, and the last two focus on how we can use it and what are the best practices. So let's start with a bit of context on microservices. Hand in hand with the evolution of software, the software architecture part has also evolved greatly. Today, over 85% of enterprises are adopting microservices as a default architecture. These highly distributed modern applications are more typical than ever today. Applications are more and more built in the cloud rather than being built in the data centers with hardware owned or leased by companies. These modern applications are highly distributed. That is, the application code is broken into smaller and more lightweight services, which can be almost thought of as mini apps. Each one of them runs independent of each other. So there is not one monolithic bundle of code in the application. Microservices architecture has great benefits. However, those easy to depict architecture diagrams have started to become even more complex. So this has brought about some unique challenges. Let us see why enterprises have moved to microservices. According to a report by Coding Sans, scalability, speed of development, and decreased system administration are the top reasons. Most of you will fall in at least one of these buckets. Scaling microservices is my favorite part, and it's extremely easy and can be done in seconds. And it definitely increases your speed of development and also allows more efficient use of resources. As discussed, modern applications now have thousands of services with databases, caches, and more. Visibility with those have become increasingly complex. Using only traditional monitoring solutions, it can be nearly impossible to know what is going on under the hood. So let's see how we can troubleshoot distributed applications. We should start with an understanding of what observability and monitoring exactly are. Observability is instrumenting systems and applications to collect relevant data. Monitoring tells you if the system is working. Observability lets you ask, why is it not working? So observability and monitoring are complementary to each other. And in my opinion, observability isn't just a tool, it's a must-have culture for any organization. It is important for all, right from developers to the C-suite. The three pillars of observability are metrics, logs, and traces. We'll discuss tracing later in the session. Let's start with the metrics aspect. Metrics are a great way for ops to figure out if something has gone wrong. Examples of metrics include CPU utilization, AWS CloudWatch. Some business level metrics include bounce rate and revenue. Logs, on the other hand, can tell us why it went wrong. But when you have tens, hundreds, or even thousands of microservices, these alone are not enough. Let's see why they are not enough. Let's consider an example of a virtual shop. As you can see, the HTTP server authenticates requests using Auth0 and pushes them to the Kafka stream. A Java container polls the stream and updates the DynamoDB table. Let's say there is a situation here where users complain about orders that were sent but not handled. Where would you start? Maybe use one of the traditional APM tools, right? Traditional monitoring solutions come at the expense of higher resource utilization, have the ability to only collect host metrics, or are purely metric driven. So that doesn't help pinpoint the problem. The very nature of Docker, container, or serverless means this is likely to leave gaps in the coverage with respect to your observability strategy. Metrics, as we have discussed, really only let us know something has broken, but not where or why. Context is absolutely critical in today's environments. So using the traditional way, you'd first look at Kafka metrics, and then you look at DynamoDB metrics. You can observe a few spikes here. So that says that something is wrong here. So we need to debug more. To effectively troubleshoot, we need more data. So we would often go and see logs. And as all of you know, logs look something like this. As an engineer or a developer, do we dive into logs across dozens of services hoping to spot that needle in the haystack? How often have we found ourselves scrolling through dozens or hundreds or even thousands of log lines hoping to spot an outlier? Similarly, how often have we sat and watched a live tail of logs flowing through? What if we knew the exact path a request is taking through individual services and components? Logs are good to debug monoliths, but they don't really work as a starting point in highly distributed systems. While log aggregators help bridge the gap of centralization on their own, logs still lack the context to an event or a metric that you're tracking. Logs are also heavy and poorly structured. Hence, it's even more challenging to determine what's wrong. So in our virtual shop example, if you're lucky, you'll be able to spot the problem, but it might take a very long time. So let's recap of what are the things that are missing. It essentially boils down to correlation. Correlation between metrics and logs, and between different services. The correlation will help us find the exact problem. So how do we correlate these pieces? That's where distributed tracing comes into picture. So I'm sure most of you have heard about tracing lately. Many vendors offer some form of distributed tracing. Even service meshes are now building support for it. There are also a dozen of open source solutions out there. However, where did it all begin and why? Distributed tracing was born out of Google over a decade ago, and it allowed engineers to trace a specific path a request makes through services. In effect, it helps shine a light on that needle in the haystack that logging or metrics can miss. Just because your application is made up of 15 or 20,000 services doesn't mean a request will travel through all of them. At best, it will travel through a fraction of those services. Let's look at an example of how you can visualize APIs and microservices using a distributed tracing solution. A typical architecture has a number of microservices involved. One of the most important features of an observability solution is visualization. Users also expect actionable data within these complex visualizations and service maps. As we zoom in or filter on specific components, users should have the ability to start seeing latency between these components and areas where thresholds have been crossed. Metrics should also be present so that some context is given to the issues or alerts that are going out. When issues are identified in your application, distributed tracing solutions should focus on visualization down to narrow the scope of services. It should be able to filter just up and downstream components. This would help take out the guesswork in determining the impact of an outage, where latency is being seen, or understanding where precisely the error occurs. Without smart filtering abilities, the architecture map becomes nothing more than an exercise in chaos theory. Now back to our previous example of the virtual shop. As you can see, the focused view of a trace can help you immediately ID the problem. In this case, the problem is the missing key ID. Which key ID though? Looking at the details of the Kafka stream, you see that the username is missing. Now, when we focus on the Auth0 microservice, you can see why is it missing. It is because of the expired token. So in short, this entire exercise helps you to reduce your mean time to detection and your mean time to resolution by quite a lot compared to traditional monitoring solutions. A good tracing solution should also pinpoint where time is being spent in the code. Here is an example of spans which make up a trace. Is a significant portion of time being spent waiting for an external API call to respond? Or perhaps we have an inefficient database call that is being made and that needs refactoring. At Epsagon, our waterfall visualization can also provide you with rich context of header metadata to help troubleshoot issues in real time. At a business level, we need to not only look at traffic of our application holistically, which of course is important, but we also need to look at the context of each and service and component. In this example, we have payment service that handles all of our processing, and the traffic here drops to 0. That's a huge problem, even if the traffic in other service of our application is fine. So we need to have the flexibility to slice and dice data in n number of ways, with a couple of examples shown here. We may also want to look at the traffic at an application level, at a service level, or even at a resource type level. It's going to be a similar idea when it comes to errors. Not all errors are the same. An error that is critical in service A might be ignored in service B. And so again, it comes to really understanding the error state of your application. You need to look at n number of viewpoints to understand what the error really is. Maybe that's breaking it out by error code. For example, a user being rate limited is important information, but it's not as critical as seeing a huge number of 500s. Further, we may want to look at errors not only based off error code, but also based off exception type. There are a number of ways you may want to visualize, track, and understand errors throughout your system, and it is a job of a good observability tool to allow you to do just that. So with all this information, you may want to be able to monitor and alert on many kinds of metrics, such as metrics from your own system, or metrics from cloud provider, or metrics from Prometheus. So let us look at some tracing-based solutions. There are some open source solutions out there. With distributed tracing, you have frameworks such as Jaeger and Zipkin. Recently, OpenTelemetry framework has tried to tie these pieces together. These are the frameworks to be followed and utilized. Although they are immensely helpful in pinpointing issues in highly distributed architectures, they come with significant development effort. This slows down the key developer velocity we all hope for. Furthermore, these oftentimes lack the visualizations necessary to trace the exact path a request travels, limiting you to a simple waterfall graph. Additionally, they might also lack key correlation with metrics and logs, and don't necessarily provide you with the ability to search data within API calls. Recently, though, some progress has been made in the visualization area because of another open source tool called Grafana. Let's see how you can instrument using OpenTelemetry. In distributed tracing, you would like to instrument every external API call within your code to create the building block of traces called spans. A span represents work done by a single service with time intervals and associated metadata. You should collect and include in all your spans the relevant information, including payloads in many cases. By injecting and extracting identifiers from spans and API calls, you can correlate spans from remote services as well. There are also a number of managed observability solutions out there. Obviously, I'm going to plug in our solution. We at Epsagon have one of the best distributed tracing solution, which is super easy to set up and is low code. It can run in any modern microservices environment, including Kubernetes, ECS, and serverless. You can also correlate metrics, traces, and logs with payload visibility. And finally, it is an end-to-end solution which can be used to troubleshoot across different BUs and teams, such as ops and dev. Security and privacy is super critical for us. That is why we have made an effort to be ISO and SOC certified. We are also GDPR and HIPAA compliant. Observability should be top of mind for every organization by now, and it shouldn't come at the expense of business or developer velocity. Epsagon takes a fully automated approach with our instrumentation with minimal maintenance requirements. Our agents can collect data from any component within your stack, whether a service running in a container or whether it is a service which is in serverless. It also stitches together transactions through databases and middleware without requiring separate agents. We are able to do this with rich context across metrics, events, logs, and traces, and allow you to search full payload and custom tags. Observability should not only tell you that something has gone wrong, but pinpoint to where and why, just so that it can help you reduce your mean time to detection and mean time to resolution. So as a user, you have a couple of action items. The first one is you should have clarity on your business goals and architecture model. And this determines which approach you'll go with, whether it's DIY or whether it's managed. Both have their pros and cons. Then obviously you'll have to implement your observability solutions. The last but not the least, scalability is super critical in observability because, as you know, microservices scale really fast. So the observability solution should be able to keep up with it. As we come to the end of our session, we'll just recap on what we have discussed. We saw that distributed microservices architectures come with their own unique benefits and challenges. Observability through metrics like throughput or simply seeing the response time aren't enough to determine where the issue is and don't provide us with the value necessary to keep our environments healthy. Distributed tracing with context helps tell a story of where, when, and why a user has encountered an error. Finally, observability helps us to get visibility into our architecture, reduce mean time to resolution, and also save a bunch of costs. I would say the great observability solution helps to shift our mindset away from being reactive to being proactive. So that's my session for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at chinmay@hepsagon.com. Also, for the special offer, please visit hepsagon.com/skillupglobal. Thanks for attending the session. Have a good day.